boy, King Jaquel Martin. I'm back with another episode of Whispering to Your Soul. So let me tell y'all something. Legend. Straight like that. One of the best DJs, not just here in LA, but in the world. My guy is really like that. Mr. Light Skin, don't care. You hear me? That guy, DJ Bad.
What up, man?
What up? Welcome to the building, my boy.
Thank you for having me.
Love.
I appreciate you.
So, listen, I got some questions for you. We're about to have a good time.
Yeah.
But first and foremost, I heard a little secret about you.
About me?
Yeah, I heard you got this fire company that you really don't talk about that often.
Oh, okay.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But I just want you to educate the people because I know that you do more than just DJ.
Yeah, so I co-own a artist management group,
Okay.
which is, I'm not going to toot my own horn, but it's kind of successful.
Yeah.
It's called Imagine Entertainment Group
Uh-huh.
with my two friends, Anthony Soleil, who is... he's a big guy. He manages Kendrick Lamar right now.
Big
Yeah.
shout out to Anthony. What up, to my boy?
Yeah. And my friend, I met him my first day of high school, freshman year, first day, and we've been friends ever since. My friend Dennis Wynn.
What up, Dennis? What up?
Yeah,
What up?
He is really. I wouldn't be where I am without him and Anthony, but especially him because I've known him the longest. And, we started that in like 2006, 7, and been rocking ever since. And our biggest client, obviously, when we started was Nas, and Nas, Nas, Miguel, this girl Alina Baraz, who's super dope, and now Anthony has ventured off to manage Kendrick and Baby Keem, so
it's crazy work.
He's doing it big.
Listen, exclusive. Y'all ain't know all that, but y'all just found out. You hear me? So let's get to the nitty gritty because people see how successful you are, but a lot of people don't know the race that you ran to even position yourself, right?
Right. Yeah.
So one of the first things I want to do is, do y'all see how he showed homage? He didn't just try to make it about him, but he paid homage to his friends. He showed love to his friends. He even admitted, I wouldn't even be in this position if it wasn't for Dennis, if it wasn't for Anthony. And I love that because a lot of people, they forget where they come from.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
No,
so,
I could never.
Yeah.
It's just, that whole time was so special and so, like, from the bottom.
Yeah.
Like, we really started off from nothing.
Yeah.
And, I wanted to DJ, and they took on the whole kind of responsibility of building the company brick by brick, and I would just kind of hop in and do my thing, and wherever they need help, I would try and fill the gaps. But they really took it to another level that when we started, we probably didn't even see coming.
It's that part.
Yeah.
Listen, when y'all building, if y'all didn't really hear the message behind that, this is what I got out of it. Everybody got a role to play.
Facts.
And it's okay to stay in your lane.
Yes.
Because a lot of times companies don't become what they want to become because people get too greedy, egos get in the way, and people don't know how to just do their part. I think that's really dope. You know what I mean? Yeah.
Yeah, no, that's really it. I knew that they were kind of destined to be great in that space. And, even though I helped them start it, I knew that what I wanted to do, in the business. And they were grateful enough to say, hey, you could do that and still be a part of this with us.
That's a vibe. That's a vibe. That's how you build, man.
Yeah.
You can build together, but in the building, everybody has their own part to play.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Because when you step out your lane, that means you're not doing what you're supposed to do, and then that part of the business falls behind. And it creates controversy or bottleneck situations because you're not doing what you're supposed to do. But if everybody moves as a team, that's why you get that famous quote, teamwork makes the dream work. So let's go back to the love of DJing. Why did you want to become a DJ, bro?
Wow. Out of high school, I obviously, not many people know, I was a great student in high school. I got into UCLA.
Okay.
And that is where my freshman year, my roommate, Filipino cat named Emerson, shout out Emerson
Shout out.
Lego, He's married with a beautiful family now. He's doing it. He's doing it big. He's a great dad.
Yeah.
He was a DJ, and he brought his turntables into our
the dorm.
Our dorm. Yeah, our dorm exactly. And it turns out that whole year I was on the turntables more than he was. Just learning, and he would teach me things, and I damn near almost got dropped out of school because I wasn't going to class. I was like just getting music.
Yeah.
And at that time, I'll tell you how old I am. Napster was like big.
Yeah.
Especially on college campuses. So I was just downloading everything I ever wanted and ever wanted to buy. Because, obviously when you in high school and stuff, you can't buy everything.
Right.
Like, I grew up in the woods. So it's not like I was fortunate, but I wasn't like very fortunate to like going to the record store every week and buying tapes or CD singles or whatever.
Okay.
So when I got to college and I found out about Napster, boy,
saved everything, right? Changed my life.
They should have locked me up because I was downloading everything.
Yeah.
Okay. Like, and they had the high speed connection in college.
Right.
I'll date myself again. I was on AOL, but then when you went to college, they had the whole. Yeah. It was different. It was a different speed, different experience.
Right.
So, and that's where I started. I was downloading stuff. I was using his records. He was showing me things, and I would like practice all day and not go to class.
That's how you
that first year. Right? That first year, I didn't really go to class. I almost got kicked out, but luckily, we're here.
So here's a good question then. How did you ever find the balance to, one, your new love, which was DJing, and two, the responsibilities of class?
I didn't at first. I did not at first. I was not good at it.
Yeah.
But as you can understand, as an 18-year-old, I don't think I was 17 going into college. I didn't turn 18 until that November. So it was hard. It was hard. I almost flunked out. But then I had to just get my priorities together. And that's what college is anyway. It's about time management. It's about learning yourself, what you want to do. And college just became a means to an end. I was like, I got to get this thing so I can get on to really what I really want to do was DJ.
Right.
And even in college, I was DJing like probably after a year or two, I started DJing parties in college. And then what really happened is I got hired because I needed a job, of course. Like I wasn't.
Gotta make some type of bread.
At first, I was doing parking at UCLA my freshman year. Okay. That was another reason I was almost kicked out because I was working and then just going home and just DJing. So I was working to kind of pay for my books and stuff like that. Right. And but I ended up just DJing. But so that summer I got hired because one of my friends, high school friends, who was in college, he went to Occidental, which was in Pasadena, not too far away. But he got a job with the Coca-Cola street team, and then he hired me.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, so we would ride around passing out Coke.
Right.
Coca-Cola.
Yeah. I know how y'all gonna try to... That was a drug!
Coca-Cola will now
we got Coke in it.
It will now be referred to as Coke. I just want to let everybody know.
Right.
But we would ride around to high schools giving out Coca-Cola to kids. And we became so, I don't know, infamous. Yeah. But around that, people were like, hey, you should get kids together and just have fun and throw parties and stuff. And we were like, bingo, we got an idea. So we started throwing parties and with using the Coca-Cola Street Team banner. And the crazy thing is we had a team in South LA, that's where I was from. Okay. And then there was other teams in like Orange County and the Valley. And I think there was another LA Street Team too. But we would all come together and throw these parties and stuff. Wow. And we would have DJs. And I was like, well, I'm learning how to DJ too. And that's how I kind of started doing that. And then our kids that we would see all the time were like, you guys should like have an office and like start like having like ambassadors and stuff. And so we ended up giving that idea to the marketing team, and they got us an office. They got every team an office, and the kids would come in and like we would just like help mentor them. So it was kind of like a whole deal. This happened in the span of when I was in college, so maybe like 2 or 3 years.
That's right there.
And from that, the street team ended. Like the program ended, the funding ended, and me and my buddy Gerald at the time, that's the guy who hired me, said we got to keep this going.
Yeah.
Because these kids like are really like we had really mentor kids that were like freshmen and they were still in high school and they still wanted to kind of be a part of something like.
Mm-hmm.
So that's when we got the idea of just, okay, we're gonna have an entertainment group where we're gonna throw these high school parties but on the side we're gonna mentor these kids and show them about entrepreneurship and stuff like that.
That's brilliant.
Yeah,
that's brilliant.
And so we started creating this program where we would have interns like help us throw these events.
Okay.
For their demographic,
right.
And like, we would kind of give back to them. We would take them on trips. We would we would tutor. We would do all types of things, and this kind of led into.
That's amazing.
Yeah, so we did that for like 3 or 4 years, and we just had tons of kids that I still talk to today. And Anthony was actually one of those kids. Anthony, the guy. Who I
see, you never know who you get a blessing with. Yeah, you never know who you bless with.
And so many more who are like in the industry right now, and like a lot of my good friends now are some of those kids that I helped mentor. Like my friend Leslie, she works in the entertainment industry. She's like a marketing director for Coco Jones.
Shout out to
Leslie. Steve, he works with Apple Music. My guy Steve.
Big up to Steve.
That I still talk to this day. And so many more of my friends and my peers are some of those kids that I mentored in the street team, with Coco Street Team, and then the eventual company that came out of that, which is 212, which a lot of people talk about in LA as a legendary like crew or company.
Yeah.
Or entertainment company that started. So it was a big thing, and that's kind of how I started DJing, and then I kind of moved up with them, and they started throwing parties for college and then 21 and over, and then I kind of just went right with them. And then that's how I met, when I started doing college parties and stuff like that, and then started kind of migrating, because I was getting older as well, obviously, so I didn't want to do high school parties all my life or college parties, so then it kind of was like, what's the next step? Right. And that's when I kind of met. I kept evolving, and that's when I met Adib, who's Supreme Team now. Mm-hmm. But there was so many people around Adib. There was Shane. Shane Mooney is.
Shout out to Shane.
Yeah, he's Paul Mooney's son. God rest Paul Mooney. Rest in peace. The legendary comedian. And Gary. They were all a team. Sammy was a part of this too. Ashley. Ashley were all a part of this big conglomerate called Supreme Team at the time. And they changed my life, DJing wise.
Wow.
Because they kind of took me from one level and said, hey, they had enough confidence in me. Sincere too. Sincere was a part of Supreme Team at the time. Miss Diddy, Candace Grace now was a part of Supreme Team at the time. They all kind of said, "Hey, we know this guy. He's young. He knows the culture at this point. And we want to put him on this pedestal." And I can't thank them enough. I would say I was already in a certain demographic big, but they took it to another level.
That's crazy.
By just believing in me. I think Adib heard me once at one of his parties. Was like, "Yo, okay, you're gonna go to the main room next time."
See, that's lit.
And
that's lit.
It never stopped from there, and we continue to rock now. And Sammy obviously split off and did his own thing, and I obviously have built a lot of things with Sammy. And but Supreme Team really changed my whole trajectory.
Yeah, that's amazing. So let me ask you something, right? Let's go down this DJ journey. Mm-hmm. When you threw your first party, how nervous were you? And then what was the moment like, I got him, I can do this, I'm going crazy?
So those are two different things. Yeah. When I threw my first party was for teenagers.
Okay.
And we were completely nervous because I was 19 And these kids were probably like 15, 16. So I wasn't too far removed from, and this was in, 2003, 2004. LA was pretty active at this point. I don't know if you're not from LA.
No, I'm from heaven.
Yeah.
No, I was born in Michigan.
Shout out Michigan.
Yeah.
But LA was extremely active at this point. And when you're dealing with high schoolers, you just never knew what was going to happen.
Yeah.
And I'm pretty sure a lot happened. But our intentions were there. Our intentions were to create a safe environment and to nurture entrepreneurship in these kids. You know what I'm saying? So, but that was nervous. Now, when I was DJing, my kind of first time was, I would say the biggest one at that time was like a Black College Expo. So the Black College Expo in LA was like a expo that kids went to find out what college they wanted to go to.
Right,
all the black colleges would be there.
Okay.
And other colleges.
Yeah, like different speakers come up there.
Yeah, exactly.
Like that, yeah.
And we threw an after party to that, and I was gonna headline. I was gonna be the guy, and that was kind of the first time I was like, okay, I can do this.
Yeah.
Because it was a legendary party at that time.
Yeah.
I knew I was good. I was gonna be okay with
like
doing
DJ.
DJ.
I go to the club a lot, you know what I mean, because I work outside.
Right.
And sometimes you have the DJs, no disrespect to nobody, that don't pay attention to the crowd.
Right.
They're just playing what they want to play.
Right.
They having a great time.
Right.
But the crowd is like,
Yeah.
So how did you learn how to go from not just playing music, but understanding how to move a crowd, how to, you know what I mean, cater to what's happening in front of you?
I always, this is the best advice I got from a DJ. Rampage, shout out DJ Rampage.
Shout out to Rampage.
He was like, just always play for the ladies. Everything you do should be about the ladies. Everything you do, because he kind of grew up on the dance floor. He kind of grew up with people on the dance floor. That's kind of not like how it is now, right? Yeah. It's not like that.
Everybody want to be bougie.
Right.
Important now.
But he was like, as long as you keep the ladies moving, the party is going to be happy. The party is going to be good.
I mean, we come for the ladies, though. You know what
right,
exactly.
Shout
out to the ladies. We there
exactly.
for y'all.
The dudes do not come for other dudes. They come for the ladies. So as long as you keep the ladies there, you'll always be good. And I was like, I always kept that as a central rule. Like, you're going to have your spots where you have to, turn up and, like, make sure the bottle host is good. But at a certain point, you have to get back to your focus. Yeah. And that will always, for me, be the ladies. And people say that I was the first person to kind of bring R&B back to clubs like that. Mm-hmm. Like, especially, like, when I was paying my dues, I kind of skipped over this part. But DJs, you're going to have to pay some dues, especially when you get into big 21 and over clubs. Like, you're going to have to pay dues. Like, it might be years before you actually get that headlining shot. I remember, opening up for people for mad years, like 2 or 3 years, and I would just have to learn how to not play hits, right? But still keep the crowd moving to a certain point where that the headliner, when the headliner got on, all they had to do was play that certain song and it would just go crazy, right? So, I don't think a lot of DJs learn this at all. Like, they don't know how to control a whole crowd, a whole party until, it's time for them to get off, Right. They don't know how to navigate a certain time slot. Yes. You know what I mean? And that's something I had to learn for years. Yeah. And I just learned that because no dudes are really in the club at 10 o'clock, but there's a lot of ladies, right? 100%. So I knew how to keep them there until the time for me to get off. Right. And for the headliner to do their thing. So that's where I really honed my skills. I actually, being a headliner now, I kind of miss, that part of it, And that's where Mondays kind of gives me Monday Night Vibes. Sorry.
Big shout out to Monday Night Vibes. It go crazy.
That's why I like doing Mondays so much, is because
you get to go back.
I get to go back to kind of where I started. So,
I listened pretty well, right? Mm-hmm. And what I take from what you just said was most people don't know how to master playing music without playing the hits, because one, you don't want to try to outshine the headliner.
No.
There's a role you got to play.
Yes.
You got to be able to still be in pocket and still be fire without trying to outdo who's coming after you.
Because to me,
time,
that makes you look better. In the end.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like, yo, that set was amazing, and these people really had a great time.
Yeah.
You didn't play.
And you didn't play no hits.
Exactly. So it's like, it just, I don't know, it just makes me respect you more as a DJ if you could just master that part.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And not only that though, that's the part about getting in the gym.
Yes.
Because it's easy to play the hits. If you can master the preparation way before the hits, then you'll have more success.
Yes.
So that's why I understand why.
And you're prepared for a lot more things.
Yeah.
You're prepared for a lot more things. Like, you have to be more versatile in those type of environments.
It forces you to grow. It forces you to get creative. It forces you to come up with different type of, you know what, let me blend these two songs together. Even though it's not a hit, if I blend these two together, it's still gonna sound like a hit.
It might get a reaction.
Yeah.
It might get a good reaction.
Yeah.
It's nothing like trying and failing or trying and succeeding.
Okay.
And then putting that in the bag. You know, for later, for next time.
So I'm glad you talked about that. Let's talk about some of your failing moments, right? How did you overcome and pull yourself out of the failing moments? Because, like you said, you have to put in work. You just didn't start off as a headliner. You had 2 to 3 years before you even got an opportunity for that. So when the times where it wasn't working the way you wanted it to work, or it wasn't moving as fast as you wanted to move, or maybe it just wasn't a good set, how did you pull yourself out of those situations? Because you have other DJs that have talent, but just might be in that sunken place and they need to know how to pull themselves out. How did you pull yourself out of those places?
Work. You just work at the craft. There was a time I just felt like people were moving ahead of me, and who, like, respectfully, I love all the DJs. Because we all are working towards the same goal. But I didn't feel like, I felt like I was being outshined because I wasn't as outspoken, or I wasn't as, I wasn't doing enough content, or I wasn't doing this, or I wasn't doing that, or I wasn't doing enough of this, or I wasn't being outside.
Okay.
You know, but in the end, you just have to be you. That's what I had to figure out. Like, I just have to be me. I can't be anybody that I'm not.
Right.
You know, and it's honestly, as a DJ, it's hard to do because, like, we're kind of built on being out and being around the people, and that was just never me. I was never the person to go out after a set.
Does that make
or
you more
stay
exclusive,
after
though?
a set.
Does that make you more exclusive? Like, people know you go crazy, but they really don't see you?
No, you would think that makes you more exclusive, but in the DJ world, if people don't see you all the time, they tend to forget. Yeah.
See, that's a gem for you young DJs.
Yeah. But if that's not you, then that's just not you.
Yeah.
You have to figure out a way how...
a healthy balance.
A healthy balance.
Yeah.
And I knew that my relationships are what I valued the most. The people I work with, I consider family. Like, Adib is my family. Like, that's why we've been rocking together for so long. Sammy, that's my family. That's, you know, when I work at Real, look, I consider them my family because like they brought me in on this and we had phone calls, we talked about it. Like, I only rock with people that I genuinely like respect and love. You know what I'm saying? And it's always been like that.
Right.
Like,
which is a good thing because it keeps your circle tight. And you
right.
Want the right. You don't need everyone around you. You need the right people around you.
Right.
You know, they used to say there's a big difference between having quantity and quality.
Yes.
You know what I mean? You got people that's gonna, you know, be there for you and big you up, but at the same time, like, hey, bro,
tell me the truth.
Hey, bro, come on.
Like Adib and Sammy will tell me when I suck. Shane will tell me. Shane is the king of telling me I suck. Yeah. At something.
But that's a good thing because it allows you room to grow. You know what I mean? You want honest people around you, you know what I mean? Like, I do motivational speaking, that's one of the things that I do, or acting and directing, and you have the moments where you need somebody to pop your balloon. You need somebody to pop your bubble. You need somebody to, you know, when it comes to that ego, to deflate it so that way you can have a little bit of humble pie to remain the same. And that was a question that I was going to ask you. You went from, you know, I won't say struggling, but failing because you fell in love with DJing to becoming this huge legend, right? That's two different mindsets. Same person, two different mindsets. So in that, how do you keep your peace? How did you find your balance? How did you find your balance from, I love DJing, I want to DJ, to now you're in demand. Everybody wants you. You have opportunities. You're around all these different people. You know what I mean? You Supreme Team is building. You guys are just blowing up. The 212 is becoming the legend and everything that. How did you find your balance and your peace?
I'm not sure if I ever found a peace because, well, I think the peace was the people I was working with.
Okay.
Because, like I said, I don't have a big family, so my friends are my family.
Wow.
And so I found peace in working with them and like creating events with them, and that was my peace for me until obviously my family came around and my son and my wifey and
shout out to the son.
Yes. That kind of gave me, I guess, the balance that you're talking about. But I never really saw an imbalance in working with the people that I love to work with and doing what I love to do.
Yeah.
I didn't feel like there was imbalance in my life.
Okay.
Like that.
Okay.
So I'm not sure. I mean, obviously, when I have my son and I have my family now, it puts a different perspective on things that maybe I didn't have before.
Yeah.
But honestly, when you're doing something that you love and with the people that you love, I don't see it being a problem with the peace. It's only when you got chaos that you're like, whoa, I gotta take a step back.
Yeah, that's a bar. You know what I mean? But sometimes when I just happen to believe in God, I don't put God on nobody else. It's just speaking for me. I believe sometimes when God elevates you, you know what I mean, you still have to find your humbleness in the elevation, because the same way you can get it is the same way you can lose it. The same way you're around different people that you've never been around, even though they're people just doing what they love, you still have to find the center. You still got to be deeply rooted. You know what I mean?
I get what you're saying, but I never took it for granted.
Yeah.
I never.
There it is. There it is, right there.
Yeah. I never took it for granted because a lot of DJs around me would say, "Man, you're so lucky. Like you're so lucky. Like you have Supreme Tune. You're so lucky you have this." And I was like, "Yeah, I am lucky. I am lucky that I found these people that I don't have to kind of prove who I am every time. Of course, I want to do a great job.
Right.
But I don't have to prove it over and over and over again that, hey, I'm DJ BAD, I'm bad, I'm here.
Yeah.
Because they already knew. Because we always take care of each other.
Right.
In that way.
Right.
You know what I mean?
And I think another secret is, people don't understand professionalism.
Yeah.
Being on time.
Yeah.
Doing what you're going to say you're going to do.
Yeah.
Delivering. How you talk to people. You know what I mean? Because people want to work with people that they like. It's one thing to get in the room. It's another thing to be able to stay in the room.
Yeah.
And then when you're in the room and staying in the room, it's another thing to continue to have the right mindset so that way you can get to longevity. You know what I mean?
Absolutely. Absolutely.
So speaking of longevity, like you're already a legend, what do you want your legacy to be, bro?
I just wanted to be that I was, when people speak my name, like, that dude was dope, but he was an even better person.
To the camera, say that one more time for the people. You got to say that to the camera, man. That's a bar.
He was a dope DJ, but he was an even better, person.
And I think that's why I think people get it backwards. I think that's why you're an amazing DJ. Not just because you DJ. Because you have a lot of people that DJ. But I think that your personal life and who you are goes into the DJing. You know what I mean? And so when you're an amazing person, I feel like energy.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's a frequency. It's a vibration. Just like with music that you play, the different type of songs, the selections. Like we were just having a conversation about some King. You're not singing Bump and Grind. Yeah, come on. Hey, no, I love you. I ain't gonna let you do it. So because there's an energy, there's a frequency, there's a cause and effect behind it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Don't just be satisfied for the moment. So understanding frequencies and energies or whatever else, I think that's pretty dope. So what is one thing, I understand you say you like to please the ladies because the fellas is going to come in for the ladies or whatever else.
Absolutely.
What advice would you give a young DJ?
Oh, I tell them this, I get that question all the time, man. And I really think about it every time somebody asks me that, because it evolves. Because I'm evolving as a DJ.
Love that.
As a person.
Love that.
But study your craft. Like I said, know how to control a party Because when you're starting off, you're not going to be a headliner. You're not going to be doing, you know, I was a resident at Supper Club Tuesday, one of the biggest like clubs ever in LA. Like you're not going to start off there.
Right.
So you need to learn how to control a crowd, how to build to a headliner, and then when you're a headliner, you need to learn how to control a residency. Because it's one thing to have a party.
Right.
It's a whole other thing to keep people coming week after week after week after week after week.
Right, to be in demand. Yeah.
Right? So, and that's what you want to, because that's how DJs make money, right? Is having people come week after week to experience what you're giving them every week, right?
Yeah.
So, yeah, you need to really study your craft and make sure everything is different. Everything is different week to week, because when people see you, they don't want to hear the same set you did last week.
That's a fact.
You know? So you have to figure out, yeah, okay, I'm going to play these 10 hot records, but how am I going to play them? People shouldn't be able to predict what you're going to play, ever. And I feel like that's why people, like, love to see me, because they know they're not going to get the same thing every time. Even though you're coming to Monday Night Vibes, even though you came to Supper Club Tuesday or Roxbury Thursday or LA Function or Anytime, Any Place or Songs About Girls or whatever I've done, right?
Yeah.
Or even the radio, right? That's for sure a place where you're going to hear the same 10 records, but I'm going to make it sound, I'm going to try my best to make it sound a little bit different every time.
That's dope. Listen, y'all better get these gems, because my man is right now cooking. He's cooking, you know what I mean? So let's do this. Let's do this. What's something as a kid that you had to unlearn to become a better person?
Something as a kid. I think it was jealousy, honestly.
Talk, come on now.
Yeah,
that's
like,
a good one.
as a kid, you're wanting things that other people got. Like, I'm sure it was some Jordans you wanted, or I wanted, or some clothes that I wanted, or like, I just had to get over the fact that that stuff is just material. It's not
facts.
You know, it doesn't like control my life or the life of my loved ones around me. You know? So, I think I had to get over that.
I had to get over that one too, bro.
Yeah.
I had my moments.
But now I feel like congratulations to everyone who gets what they should get and what they deserve. You know?
You know, we work at station, right? So I was talking to one of the employees, and he was like, "Bro, why are you always so happy? Why are you always just dancing? Why do you always just have good energy? Like, what's wrong with you? You know what I'm saying? Are you on drugs or something?" I'm like, "No, bro." I was like, "Yo, thank God I don't look like what I've been through. If you know what I've been through, bro, you would dance, you would sing, you would have joy, you would have so, you know what I mean? Because there's so much toxicity going on already. Why would I want to add to that? The fact that I'm here, the fact that I get to see another day, the fact that I have my health." There's a young lady, right? Because I know Les Brown person, that's my guy, right? Shout out to Les Brown, John Leslie, Ona and the family. Shout out to everybody, right? Honor too. Les Brown had this lady named Paulina on the show. She's a speaker. She has no arms, she has no legs. And she says, "I have more I cans than I cannot." What's your excuse? And man, sometimes it's just certain things that just stick with you. Yeah. She has no arms, no legs. She's in a wheelchair. She has like this thing on her leg that she can control the wheelchair with. She travels. She's a mother. She has her own company. She speaks. And she says, "I have more I cans than I cannot." What is your excuse?
None.
Bro.
I don't have nothing for you, lady.
Stick a fork in them is done, bro. The fact that I can wake up and I have my arms, my legs, my health, I get to take another. Bro, that is enough to be happy about.
That's true.
Sometimes, I think you said this earlier. You said one of my secrets is that I'm grateful. I'm grateful for being in the position. Yes, I am lucky. Yeah. I'm humble. I'm thankful. I appreciate it.
Some people even would say, I've heard this, "I'm too humble." That's what people will say. I'm like, how? How is that possible?
Man, I don't know, man. Humble is, listen, that is so powerful to know how to be humble. To know how to have forgiveness. So we've been tricked to think being humble is a bad thing, or to learn how to forgive yourself is a bad thing. It's not a weakness. Those are some powerful strengths, bro. Because I promise you, respect will take you places money can't.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
They facts.
Yeah.
They facts.
So because you DJ, you know what I mean, I gotta ask you this right here. Top 5 male rappers.
Oh.
Who your favorite? Not top 5, but who are your favorite? Let's do that. Is that okay?
I mean, yeah. I mean, it's fine. I mean, I'll probably get crucified, but especially Shane Mooney. He's gonna hack this up. I have to give number 1 to Jay because Jay is just he's Jay. He's inspirational. He's lyrical. He'll give you hits, and I feel like he's just the most all around rapper I've ever come across of all time. I mean, for any reason, he has a song for it, and it's just amazing.
Okay,
it's just amazing.
Okay.
And I know he's from New York, and I'm from LA, but I don't care.
Okay, Jay
is 1. 2, for me, my first CD that I ever got was The Chronic by Dr. Dre. And there was this guy named Snoop Doggy Dogg on that album, and I just fell in love with that guy.
Shout out to
Yeah, so and I met him, and he's just Snoop, man. Like,
man, hey, that's somebody who is authentically themselves, bro. I was doing security at Jimmy Kimmel, and Snoop came in, and I was doing security for his room or whatever else. When I tell you, allegedly, they smoked that thing out. You hear me? I'm standing by the door, high as hell on contact,
What's going on?
I'm doing security, trying to keep my face up. I'm like, this nigga, I ain't even in the room.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But that, hey, shout out to Snoop. Snoop is definitely a vibe, one of the GOATs for sure.
Yeah. Cause he's the new West King, and I've seen him. Listen, he was in a group when I was in 212. Remember I told you about 212?
Yep,
we had an office. He came in here in the office with his group to I think they wanted to perform at a party or something we were doing.
Okay.
And it was Dot and his group came in.
Shout out to Dot.
And after that little audition or whatever you call it, we were like, who is that?
Yeah.
Who? It was just, all the conversation was just about Dot. I'll just let you know that.
Yeah.
And to see what he's done since then is kind of, that was in 2007, 6. And to see what he is now is just amazing. And now to see that Anthony is managing him is just like...
It's like, come on now.
It's like full circle. And Anthony was actually at that thing. I think he was 16 or 17.
Shout out to K-Dot. That's amazing.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
And so K-Dot is 3. And one of my favorite albums ever is Life After Death. So I have to put Biggie in because that album kind of like...
I'm about to say,
as an LA dude...
You know you gotta have Big in there.
Yeah.
Big probably in everybody's top 5.
Yeah. As an LA dude, listening to that album, I'm one of the few who like Life After Death more than All Eyes on Me. I'm just gonna say it. Like, I thought it had more slappers. I thought it had more slappers on there.
You see me,
but
you see me.
Yeah. Hey, rep who you want rep.
Yeah.
But yeah, Biggie has to be in mine.
No, Big is in my top 5. You know?
Oh, okay.
Big is in the top 5 period.
And then 5, just because of what he's contributed to music, and I mean, the catalog is undeniable. I gotta put Drake at 5. Drake's at 5.
Drake at 5. Shout out to Drizzy. His catalog.
That's a real thing coming from an LA guy.
Listen, you know in the comment section.
At this point,
you know in the comment section what's about to happen. Did he say Drizzy?
It's all love. Hey, it's
Drake,
all love.
I
know those OVO guys. Some of those OVO guys are like my friends.
Yeah, but what you can't do is deny his greatness. You can't
deny his greatness.
How many hits he's had. You can't deny everything that Drake has done. Even giving K-Dot the opportunity. You know what I'm saying, when he took him out or whatever else. So and
let's be honest. Let's be honest. Like, he's lost 2 battles, allegedly.
So push
one for sure.
He definitely lost to K-Dot. I love you, Drake, but he lost to K-Dot. I ain't gonna lie to you.
But for a guy to still be releasing music and still be relevant as he is, losing 2 rap battles, never been done in history.
And he's supposed to be doing the World Series?
He's supposed to be doing the World Cup.
World Cup. That's what it's World Cup.
World Cup halftime.
World Cup.
Yeah.
That's retarded.
Yeah.
That's y'all don't understand. Not Super Bowl, not World Series,
the other
not
football.
NBA championship, the other football.
Yeah, the other football.
Y'all know how big the World Cup is?
They don't.
That's like the Super Bowl on steroids. You hear me? It's so different.
It's World Cup is bigger than the Olympics.
Yeah, big facts.
Yeah.
World Cup is dumb. So shout out to you for that accomplishment. You know what I'm saying?
I have to put him in my 5 though.
Trick question for you.
Yeah.
Who can beat Breezy in a versus battle?
That's alive?
Live, dead. Let's go. Cause I want all.
I mean, a lot of Mike Jack could probably beat him.
I got Breezy getting Mike. I was saying.
Let's go.
People might be mad at me, but all Breezy.
Hey yo, cut the camera.
Hey, listen. I'm done. Of course, Mike is. I'm not saying Mike not Mike. Done. I'm not saying Mike not Mike. But guess what? Breezy not even done yet, and we're comparing him to Mike.
I'm not comparing him to Mike.
I'm talking about in the versus battle. You think he's gonna get smoked?
I don't even think Breezy compares himself to Mike.
Of course not yet.
Okay,
but by the time he's done, when all said and done,
so you wait. So King,
look how fire Breezy is.
I know you're the host. But I have a question to ask.
Okay, talk to me nice.
So do you think Chris Brown music is gonna get better from here on out, or worse?
Better.
Nah, I can see it in your face. You don't believe that.
Better. Breezy, you gonna get better, dog. Hold me down, Breezy. Hold me down. Listen.
Because if his music doesn't get better, there's no way he can compete with Mike.
Yeah. I mean, you got Mike and Prince. But okay, alive. Can anybody compete with Breezy alive?
Usher.
No.
Usher.
No. And I love you, Usher. No.
Does Breezy have You Don't Have to Call?
Residuals?
No, not even close.
Under the influence?
No, not even close.
Come on, Breezy got hits. Breezy got hits. I'm fighting for you, Breezy.
Does Breezy have...
Who a better performer,
Does
Breezy
Breezy have a burn?
See how they trying to do? See how they trying to play? I'm holding you down, Breezy. I don't care what they say.
I love
Breezy.
Listen, I met Chris Brown said, yo, you one of the ghosts. But Usher, who's that dude?
Usher that dude. Breezy, I'm holding you down. I got Breezy over Usher in a versus battle. Set it up. When y'all doing it, man? When y'all doing it? That's what I need to know.
They not doing it because Breezy will lose.
Stop this madness. And in performance, listen.
Performance? You just gonna give performance straight up to Chris like that?
Oh.
I said what I said. Hey, but let me tell you something.
At least you stayed in your business.
I know.
He's not everyone to cut me right now. He's the editor to cut me. Listen, don't get me wrong. Like, Usher, when it comes to professionalism, A1. When it comes to mastering your craft, A1.
See, I think you would be right if Chris Breezy didn't have the little blip on his record. If he didn't have the little blip on his record.
Throw the asterisk in. Everybody,
no.
Marvin said, we fall down, but we get up.
No, because I said, I'm saying that to say this. If he hadn't had that blip and didn't have to rebuild his whole career, he would be in a much better position.
I agree with that. That's fair.
Yeah.
But I'm still on Team Breezy. Breeze. It's your boy.
I like that you're rocking with it, but you're wrong. But I like that you're rocking with it.
Listen. I'll be the one crazy ant that finally gets to be right in the future. I know you got more fire music on the way, Breezy. You got
so you think he's made a better record than Yo? You think he's made a better record than Yo?
So what happened on the show was Breezy, I still got Team Breezy. They're not changing me, not gonna convert me.
Listen, I'm a DJ, so I play these records. And I'm telling you, let's say I'm in Vegas last week. What do you think got a bigger reaction? Yo or Heat?
Yo.
So just saying.
Man, first of all, let me tell you this though, Bag. I want to say first and foremost, just thank you.
You're welcome, man. I appreciate you having me.
Like real talk, you don't have to be here. You've accomplished so much in your life.
I appreciate
you know what I mean? And for you just to come on a podcast, for you to be a real one. Because we know everybody in LA sometimes, oh man, I did it, I did the LA handshake, and you hear back from nobody.
Yeah.
For you to be a man of your word, for you to be the man that you are, I'm so grateful you graced this platform.
Oh, appreciate you, man.
Like,
I'm glad you had me.
Real talk, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
People be like, yo, King, how you get everybody up on the podcast? How you got so many people coming through? I said, because before I ever talked about a podcast, I just was me.
Yeah. Facts. Now that's the truth. That's the truth. I work with this man every week for a long time.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
And never, you know what I'm saying? And let me tell y'all something, bro. When you fake it, people know. When you ain't authentic, people know. But when you just you and you want to do things for the right reasons, I swear to God, blessings happen that you wouldn't even expect. When I first started this podcast, I never expected someone like Bad to be on it. Yeah. But you should be able to expect the unexpected if you're doing the right things for the right reasons. And if you ever have an opportunity for me to go speak to the kids, say less.
All right.
Consider it done. I would love to give back. That is so my lane. I'm right now competing for the Toastmasters International World Champion Speaking Competition.
Oh, no.
Yeah, I got this speech entitled Unbreakable. One moment doesn't define your life. You do. And I want people to really understand that, because sometimes we get caught in one moment.
Facts.
We get caught in one mistake. We get caught in the sunken place of family, friends, our own mistakes, you know what I mean? That doesn't get to define you. If you wake up tomorrow, you get to choose something new for yourself. And the question is, will you? Because the truth is, there's only one you. So by default, Bad, you are already the best version of you. The question is, do you choose to be the best version of you? Yeah. And that is only up to you. Nobody else gets to answer that. And if you're not programming yourself to be the best, then who's programming you? And so we got to be careful with who we allow in our space, who we allow in our energy, what we listen to, what we allow in our, you know what I'm saying? This energy field is real. Yeah. And can't nobody take nothing from you. The funny thing is, a lot of times we give things away unknowingly because we ain't got our boundaries. Or because we did something, or we failed, or we made a mistake. No, that's where the growth is. That's the beauty. You wouldn't be where you are right now, Bad, if you wasn't willing to take the risk at failing, or to master your craft, or all these other different things. You are right now where you are in your life, Bad, because of all the decisions of yesterday. Yep. And if you didn't start making better decisions, you wouldn't have been blessed. But the reason why you're blessed is because you started evaluating and started making different choices in order to have something different. Because in order to get something different, you got to do something different. So I commend you on your discipline, on your understanding of it's okay to mess up, on your commitment to your family, on your commitment to mastering the craft, and to, I'm still just me.
Still just me.
And that's enough, because people don't really know that being you is enough. Being you means you're worthy. And I think that's so dope, bro. You know what I mean? You got any final thoughts? You got any things you want to talk to the people about?
Nah, man, I just appreciate you be having me on the show, and follow me at DJBAD on Instagram, and you know, we got LA Function this summer.
Yeah.
Anytime, any place coming, that's our big R&B party. So just look out for that. I do songs about girls. Shout out my DJ brother, Mikey Danger.
Shout out to Mikey.
Yeah. And yeah, follow those events, man. I appreciate it. Listen to me on Real 92.3 on Saturday, 7 to 10. Got to plug that. Shout out.
Plug that. Big shout out to everybody. You know what I mean?
Yeah, man. That's about it.
Oh, your agency. One more time with the agency.
Imagine Entertainment Group. Same thing on IG. Follow us. See what we're up to. Big shout out to Nas too. That's our
man.
That's our number one. Yes. And,
shout out to Nas. You feel me?
Yeah, we just trying to keep it going.
They're not trying to do nothing. They're actually doing it. They're just in the motion of doing.
Yeah.
They're just doing it. You know what I mean? Once again, this is our show. I'm your host, King Jaquel Martin. I am here with the infamous, the legendary, the man, the myth, the legend himself, DJ Bad in the building, bro. Thank you, bro.
Sir.
That's love, brother.
Thank you, man.
You know what I mean?
Sir.
Make sure y'all check out the show. Coming soon to you, Whispering to Your Soul. You can find it on IG at Whispering to Your Soul. Also, you can follow your boy on IG. It's King Jaquel Martin. That's KingJaquellMartin. Holla at your boy. We out here.